I went ahead and got started.
You sure you don't mind treating me?
What? Are you actually able to pay?
Wish I could, but I don't think they'd take this.
You don't sound like you're gonna relax during this meal.
Depends on what you say. Hopefully I'll relax enough to enjoy the duck. So, how do you know Arakawa-san? I'm on the edge of my seat here.
It wasn't long after the war the counterfeit bills started being produced in Ijincho. It was top secret. Only the heads of the Seiryu clan and the Liumang, plus some officers, knew about it. Outside of that inner circle, they also had to hire people to smuggle the bills.
Smugglers?
And one of them was a traveling actor. His name was Toshio Arakawa. He was Masumi Arakawa's father.
What?
One day, he came to us saying he lost an entire suitcase, filled with 100 mil in fake yen. No excuse in the world could have saved him. A mistake that grave required the Seiryu clan to make an example out of him, for the other smugglers. But remember, only a few people at the top even knew about the counterfeiting. It wasn't a task they could hand to just anybody. So I, being next in line to inherit the clan, was entrusted to carry it out.
So did you actually...
Yes. I killed Toshio Arakawa, father of Masumi Arakawa, in this very place, 40 years ago. But I had no idea who was in the room with my target. By the time I learned it was his 14-year-old son, it was too late. I had to go through with the hit, knowing this boy would see his father die. To make my guilt even worse, later I found out why Toshio lost the fake bills. His wife and her lover had stolen them. And those two fell into the ocean and disappeared. Their corpses were never even found.
So Arakawa-san lost both his parents, one after the other.
And his only other friends, the theater troupe, disbanded soon after without their leader. Masumi Arakawa became a drifter, along with a few other actors. They couldn't trust anyone, so what other path was there for them, except becoming Yakuza in Kamurocho? Arakawa joined a low-ranking family in the Tojo clan called the Hikawa family. Life wasn't easy for him there. They were the kind of family that took hits without thinking twice.
Really?
Yes. So they were always in need of ways to dispose of a body. Masumi Arakawa was tapped to help with that, and he was extremely cautious. To do it, he started coming all the way to the homeless camp in Ijincho.
Really? Even though the family was based in Tokyo? Why?
Well, truthfully, he wanted an excuse to come to Yokohama, because it would afford him opportunities to hunt his father's killer.
I see. So Arakawa-san was using the homeless camp to dispose of bodies all the way back then.
Indeed. As for his hunt, he researched Yakuza and criminals every time he was here. All he started with was a single clue. His own childhood memory of the suspicious waiter he saw here that night. Eventually, 7 years after the murder, I received an invitation to come here. He signed his invitation Masumi Arakawa. It was a bold declaration, and I knew immediately the running would be futile. So I came here, Alone. I didn't even bring a bodyguard.
Why the hell not?
Well, to put it simply, I was prepared to die.
But, I mean...
In this line of work, there are no good ways to die. And I can think of worse ways to go that would not give that boy the justice he'd earned. The memory of what I'd done to him never left me, you know. It was always like a small bone stuck in my throat. He was sitting right where you are now.
Here?
Yes. He didn't look a day over 20. But his eyes had that hard, flinty gaze of an old killer. I couldn't help myself. I told him everything. I told him why I killed Toshio Arakawa. I even told him about the secret counterfeiting. I figured I was dead anyway. He had a gun in his hand, and all he had to do was pull the trigger. But he never once interrupted me. When I'd finished, he slowly stood up. I stopped him as he turned to leave. "Didn't you come here for revenge?" I asked.
And? What did he say?
He said, "If only you had ignored my invitation, then I could have shot you in the back." Then he left.
Boss.
In 1984, the 10,000 yen bill changed from the face of Prince Shotoku to Yukichi Fukuzawa. By that time, Arakawa had found his own Yakuza family, so I sent him a gift.
What was it?
A fresh batch of crisp, fake bills featuring Yukichi Fukuzawa. They were defective prints with nothing on the back. Not exactly legal tender.
Then how was that a gift?
It's hard to explain. If I had to say, it was out of gratitude.
Sure, but for what?
I should have died that day I met with Arakawa. I would have been right. And yet he spared me. Not only that, but he lifted a terrible weight from my chest. Furthermore, it's not an exaggeration to say the equilibrium among the Ijin Three continues to this day because of him.
Wow.
I owe him an unfathomable debt. And one day, I must pay it back. The defective bills were how I chose to communicate the sentiment. The counterfeiting secret is Ijincho's weakness. And it was only thanks to Arakawa that the Ijin Three could continue to secretly wield that power. But of course, that means if he ever feels like it was a mistake to let me live, he can use the fake bills to unravel everything I've built. The gift wasn't the bills themselves. They were leverage. I actually wrote something on the back to that effect. Neither justice nor mercy should tip the scale. It means that those in power must reward and punish where necessary. I felt it was an appropriate message. I suppose the writing is faded at this point.
Whoa. So that's the whole story.
Up till this moment. But now I'm sitting across from a man holding one of those fake bills. Which, of course, is a message from Arakawa that only I could understand. The message is, Masumi Arakawa sees you as a beloved family member.
Arakawa-san thinks of me as family.
He would not have placed that bill in your pocket lightly. Do you see its significance now? After everything I've told you? There is almost no doubt in my mind that Arakawa did not want you killed. So he didn't shoot you out of malice. He shot you so that you would be brought here, be saved by the homeless, and eventually meet up with me. Do you see? That's everything I can tell you.
That's plenty. Thank you, Chairman. I see it all now. I always kind of figured.
You did? Well, it's your move now. I've only told you what I know, so...
It's okay. That's enough. I trust you.
Well, I don't hear that often.
Yeah, neither do I. Not even from my friends. But those friends are trustworthy to me. And so are you. I believe everything you said. And my faith in Arakawa-san is coming back strong.
Kasuga,
Yeah?
are you a blood relative of Arakawa's?
No, it's not like that.
I see. Well, he must have been happy to have such loyalty as yours. As proud as any father, I think.